Hello, YouTube. Welcome to another Negus TV short. Yes, I'm back. It's West Coast Fred. Now, I know I've been away. I've been saying this all the time. So, what I've been up to? I basically taken all my videos from YouTube, everything that I talk about on YouTube, I've taken it to Facebook. A lot of it has been related to police brutality, Philando Castile, and Trump. Anything race related. It's always been that. I pick everything and publicly took all this stuff over to Facebook. I'm surprised I haven't had my Facebook deleted yet. But since I'm but and what I've had to do, I guess since I've had to um be strategic about it because you kind of like criticize to an umpteenth degree. You criticize other black people. You can do that all day, but once you're trying to teeter over, trying to I kind of like fairly accurately and carefully, I kind of have to criticize the actions of some white Americans. You know, what I mean? Like, because I have to be legit. We can't just be like, all you white people. Blah, blah, blah. I have to be kind of strategic about it because even if I was right, which I know I have some legit points to say, uh, I might get attacked. Mostly, it's like I don't get silenced, but because no one really says anything, and I seldom have an argument with people because maybe they know I'm right, they just don't want to say anything, or maybe they just look at my stuff at all. But yeah, that's basically what I've done because most of it, it's criticizing each other. All right, on YouTube, the black community, online black community, and on YouTube, we criticize each other a lot. What I find myself doing it. I cannot criticize and critique African Americans without critiquing the people outside of our community. Let me give you an example. I was basically there's one of my Facebook friends, Michael, and he hits me with the same BS. What about black on black crime? Stop blaming people for your issues in the black community. I was like, well, how can we not blame other people, and usually they do happen to be white. Unfortunately, that happens. Or it's black people who are don't mind damaging or exploiting black folks. Usually, it's the higher echelon, more successful black people. Either they go away, they come back to exploit. Not all of them, but it happens too many times. And usually, they're trying to get a seat at the table of rich, white, well-to-do, wealthy white people. They're trying to get a seat at the table, and that causes them to betray us and exploit us at the expense of themselves and our community because they just want a seat at that the white elite table. So when they come back here, they get all this vitriol and hate, and it's wonder why. Now, what often to happen, you have to criticize. I find myself criticizing the white people who actually exploit us as well. I have to talk about Donald Trump. I have to talk about a guy named John Hopkins. I have to talk about the individuals in the CIA and FBI that have put drugs in poor communities, and unfortunately, one of those happened to be black. You know, so I have to mention those things. Now, I know some of the white people on my Facebook page do not like that. I know they don't. But since I'm not saying talk about harming white people. I'm not talking about I'm not saying anything, any racial epithets. I'm just stating truths and facts. I like to stick to that. You get yourself when you stick to less things like I have to criticize and critique certain behaviors that I see white people do towards us. I have to. It's not fair to do it, and a lot of time they don't say anything. Sometimes they do. I usually when someone wants to say something, they agree with 98% of what I say, but it's that 2% or 1% or 90 or 10% of what they disagree with. Which one guy was like, well, we can't be so divisive. We have to join hands together. My argument to that is we cannot join hands together when many of the black community does not trust the white community because from what I see just by sometimes interacting online or off is a general silence. They don't. I don't see enough of them publicly denounce these things when they see Philando Castile, when they see Corin Gaines of the way where they don't see SWAT teams the way they deal with us. They don't deal with us the same way they deal with other white people. I noticed that heavily, and they're always making excuses. If they ever say anything at all, I'll often make excuses for these individuals who are white, who do crazy things, who threaten law enforcement, who kill them, strike them, don't comply with the orders of an officer or any law enforcement. They get chances to comply. We do not get chances to comply. So that's why it's very frustrating to try to just critique and put the bull's critique on black folks. I kind of have to do it over here on the white side of things because it's too late in the day to have that coonish attitude. It's too late in the day to, I guess what Tariq would say, defend white daddy. Like it's like I can't do that. It's not fair. It's not accurate. And if you want to get anything done, you kind of have to critique other people, even other people of color, other black people, other white people, but in a very accurate way. And I notice they don't all like being under the bus, but I have. That's why I'm very strategic with it. Yeah, I mentioned it by name, class, or certain section, or if I do mention a white person, it has to be the mentality. I even have to say it in different ways, like say for like Americans or people or the general public. I have to refer those or the silent majority. So either way, I am talking about people, certain sectors of white society in relationship with black society in America, which I have to put it that way. So when you put as super common sense and logic, it kind of gets him thinking. I get a lot of silence, like not a lot of comments. Some people maybe silently agree with what I say. See, I don't believe that white, black, and brown all need to come together because we all have our own uh, problems in our communities. And in reality, we all happen to live next to each other, even though it might be segregated, it might be in the same city, and it might be a very mixed. But there is um, a purpose. There's a volunteer, or not a purpose. There's a voluntarily on purpose avoidance and isolation of wanting to talk to the next race. Sometimes you may live next tent. You may be black and you right. You might live next to two white families, one Chinese family, one Filipino family, and eight white families in the same neighborhood. But if you purposely don't live, if you purposely make it your choice to go out of your way to not talk to them, then you are segregating yourself um, purposely, voluntarily, or just maybe because you just don't know them. Who knows? Different reasons. It's just those things. And I remember I had this one guy. He tried to say, "Well, we all need to come together." It was a radio show host, but he said something real bad to me. So I was like, "Hang the fuck up." But he was like, we all need to come together and deal with the establishment. I'm like, no, because okay, I'm part of the black middle class, and the lower middle class is where you black people are in the ghetto. I don't like to make those distinctions sometimes, but sometimes I have to understand for you to understand where I'm coming from and my background. Socially, I've in the past I've had more in common with a white person that lives in the middle class. Socially, I mean socially, because I live next to them. We all went to the same school and we went to the same park and went to the same bars and all that. It's like is that now I had less in common with black people who stayed in the hood. The only black people I had in common with was the ones who also raised in the suburbs as well. But here's where the twist is. Those people are saying, you blacks over here need to come join us and challenge the establishment. I said, well, have you made the distinction that those rich upper echelon white people want nothing to do with you and you are fighting for a seat at their table, but however, you just want to use us to get yourself up in there till the rest of your people or in that section, that they just because they share the same skin tone does not mean that you share the same mindset as the people up top. They want nothing to do with you because even the black people who are fighting for a seat at their table look at them as niggers. So what makes you think that what makes you think it's just a class thing? It is not. It is a race issue because the race trumps the economy. Um, and also, let's say someone who is white and poor and broke. I was like, well, every time that someone rich, white, and powerful like Trump convince the rest of the white society to go along with their efforts, they're trying to get us. You always fall for the okey doke, knowing that it was the people in charge of this nation that actually fucked you over the most economically. They took the jobs, the companies that are owned by rich, a lot of them, maybe not all, owned by rich, college educated, well to do, the wealthy white, usually males. They took these jobs away from honest, hardworking, middle class, upper middle class, and lower working white Americans, and also took away from black and brown people and put them in countries, in even poorer countries outside of America, to non-white people. So you have the nerve to be mad at the black and brown folks. See where I'm going with this? So back to I know I went off topic a little bit. Basically, my argument with some white people is this: until you can convince me with your actions, not your words, that, well, you do have to acknowledge it and then you have to back it up with your actions. Until you can convince me that, and stop hitting me with this. I hate when they hit me with this. Let's stop being divisive. We need to get off this color thing. Until those people can convince me that they understand that when the whole race thing was started by rich, powerful white people who can get people who are in the lower tier brackets of economic and of society, rich whites and poor whites, those poor white people or middle class working white people, unless those people can convince me that they understand and they're not falling for the whole race divide thing, meaning they're not letting a rich, powerful white person tell them how to think about black and brown folks and understand that the black and brown folks are more in relationship with you in solidarity or would like to be, you cannot be trusted because you're just like everyone else. You're just like the million people behind you who you're cool with me up until someone tells you the black people take our jobs away, knowing that it was him who could provide the jobs in the first place. Until they can convince me of that, hell no, they can't really be trusted if it's in that topic. So yes, we do need to come together, but I don't trust that. Just like I despise the term all lives matter because all lives matter people did not show up until Black Lives Matter started doing something. I got a lot to say. I've said a lot on my Facebook page, right? But when it comes to that, a lot to say and a lot to share. See, I've been thinking a lot. I know y'all like, damn, he didn't even say so. I've neglected my time. I was gonna do this video blog series called The Secret World of Negus. And I think I should up and run. I should probably bring some topics in. And I was going to do a radio show, but I've been so distracted with work. It's not easy juggling your civilian life with your other life. I mean, working like military and civilian life. It's kind of difficult to juggle sometimes, but I've been busy. But I want to get back to YouTube because I've been kind of branching out and doing this whole Facebook thing. I still want to go do that on the side, but I want to bring a lot of those ideas and stuff I have not been able to share with my subscribers. I know y'all have been like, "Where's Freddie? You made a video." I want to bring that back. I want to share everything that I've said on there and bring it here. So I'll do that. I'll start making videos again. Matter of fact, in the next couple days, you'll see something from me. But until then, peace, love, and hair grease. Till the next time. West Coast Fred out. Hope you enjoyed this little short, which is probably one of my shortest videos. That's me, West Coast Fred out. Thanks for watching Niggas TV.